I said in a video yesterday that this entire supposed fuel crisis has been orchestrated and invented by the mainstream media, who, let's face it, couldn't keep their dirty, stinking, rotten mouth shut and let us go about our business. Well, sooner or later, there was going to be consequences. And I've been told a couple of stories about some forecourt encounters today, which quite frankly make my piss boil. And I hope that all this goes away very, very soon. How do everyone? Welcome back to the channel for a Monday. Hope you're doing all right. I'm sitting here with my friend Baby Yoda in the background on top of the desk there. Now, it's a birthday card that my son had, and I really rather like it, being a Star Wars fan, so it's staying right there. Well, one thing I'm not a big fan of at the moment is what's going on at the petrol forecourts all over the country, as I'm sure you're not either. And like me, you probably blame the mainstream media for blowing everything right out of proportion, as they're good at, because at the end of the day, the only person with a problem was BP, not anybody else, and there's literally millions of litres of fuel sitting in the refineries. So watch my lips, there's no fucking shortage of fuel. Stop panic buying. What's actually happening now is demand and supply are so far apart, it's unbelievable. And Boris, if you're listening to this, call the army in. It's about time. Get them in their big green fuel Bowsers and get them transporting this fuel to where it needs to go to keep us all on the road. The people that suffer in times like this are people that need fuel to get around, particularly police, fire, ambulance, and dare I say it, taxi drivers. Two stories I've heard today. I just got off the phone to a colleague of mine who runs another company, James his name is, drives a big nice Ford Tornado like the one I have. And he said to me he went to the forecourt last night and there was a bloke thought his time of night he would have a go at a lady who was giving it some back, and it was getting a bit heated all over the lack of fuel. Must be tiny man sausage syndrome or something like that, you know, the old inch and a half full of wrinkles kind of thing. Well, James was having none of it. He got out of the car and went to the lady's aid, and he said, "Come on, love, get back in the car, he's not worth it." She got back in the car and the bloke proceeded to start on James. James said, "Go away, you know, I'm not interested, I'm in a foul mood, I want my fuel, I want my sleep. Go fuck yourself," with a cactus basically. Anyway, James went into the shop and the guy started giving him verbal in there. And he's like, "What do you want? Do you want a fight? We can have a fight, you know." And anyway, the guy buggered off. James paid for his fuel, thought nothing of it. Drove off. The next thing you know, he's got this dickhead behind him, flashing and beeping and ushering James to pull over. James, by this point, had thought, right, okay, that's it. Pulled over, got out the car, about to confront this guy, and he goes driving off like a lunatic, beeping and swirling, shouting, and you know, that kind of thing. What a complete and utter dickhead, really is. And the other story I heard as well, there's a young lady called Becky who's a technician on the ambulances, and this ambulance she was driving had a very big problem. It was running out of fuel. And by the time she got to a petrol station, she was out of fuel, having tried to fill her ambulance for the last 2 days. As you can imagine, emergency services need to get around. I was just talking to James, you know, if I'm out of fuel and an ambulance is out of fuel, ambulance wins every time. They need it because they could save your life one day. Have a look what happened on the forecourt when Becky arrived. Yeah, sweet looking kid, isn't she? Only 24. She was verbally abused for trying to fill her ambulance up to enable her to do her job. By any measure, under any other circumstances, completely sickening, and there should be severe punishments levied at anybody that thinks it's okay to verbally or physically abuse any of our emergency services. It's just totally unacceptable. And unfortunately, with the current climate, with no fuel anywhere, thank you very much, media, you're going to get stories like this. It needs to end, and it needs to end rapidly. If I can say anything to anybody, stop panic buying. There's no fuel shortage. You've caused it by your actions. If you filled your car up, go home, shut the door, turn the lights out, close the curtains, and watch the BBC, because that's obviously where you're getting your news from. But if you live in the real world like the rest of us, then please realise there is no problem. Let the tankers get around, let them fill up, and we can all return to normal. And these ambulances, police cars, fire engines, and taxi drivers like me can get to do their job. Let me know in the comments below what experiences you've had. It's getting beyond a joke now. It really is. Let me know your opinions too. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm off. I'll see you later with another one. Toodaloo.